General Duane H. Cassidy was an accidental airman. Born in Pennsylvania, he grew up in a steel mill town. After working in the mill for a short time during his senior year in high school, he knew that there had to be something better in life.
On foreign shores or at home, where you go by your wings, you'll be known.
When a friend indicated he was going to take the test for the Air Force Aviation Cadet Program, a young Cassidy saw it as an opportunity and took the test for aerial observer. He passed, and the Air Force became his ticket out of the mill. He completed basic observer navigator training in Harlingen, Texas. After receiving his commission on 18 December 1954, Lieutenant Cassidy returned to Pennsylvania to marry his high school sweetheart, Rosalie. And so began the Cassidy partnership that continues to this day, 52 years later. He returned to basic observer navigator training with his bride and earned his nav wings. The Cassidys reported to his first mobility assignment as a weather reconnaissance navigator flying WB-25s. Weather flying was followed in short order by a transfer to Air Rescue Service, also a mobility mission in the Military Air Transport Service, the predecessor to the Military Airlift Command, MAC. During these assignments, Lieutenant Cassidy flew missions in support of Operation Red Wing, tests of the hydrogen bomb near Eniwetok Island. They returned to Charleston Air Force Base for a tour as a C-121 navigator. While at Charleston, the Cassidy family increased with the birth of daughter Diane. In 1959, he graduated from pilot training and was assigned to B-47s at McCoy Air Force Base in the Strategic Air Command. SAC was a force multiplier for the Cassidys, adding Susan in 1959, Mike in 1960, and Patrick in 1962. The Cassidy clan stayed in SAC for a Northern Tier assignment, moving to Minot in 1965, where Major Cassidy flew the T-33, C-47, and T-29. From cold to hot, Cassidy's next assignment was Vietnam. After a little flying as a forward air controller, Major Cassidy moved to Saigon headquarters, where he became the daily press briefer. Walter Cronkite may have had the CBS Evening News, but Cassidy led the 5 o'clock Follies. Could this be where he earned the name Cecil B. DeCassidy? From Vietnam, Major Cassidy made his first of 4 moves to the cornfields of Illinois, joining the MAC staff in 1969. He served as an executive officer to the Director of Operations, then aide to General Jack Catton. From 1972 to 1980, Cassidy moved through the MAC command system, squadron commander of the 8th Military Airlift Squadron flying C-141s at McCord, and wing commander of the 63rd Military Airlift Wing at Norton. And on time to every promotion officer, in 1980, Cassidy earned his first star and moved to MAC as the assistant, and later the Director of Operations, where he really started influencing our mobility air forces. While serving as the MAC DO, General Cassidy brought Air Force Special Operations into MAC, championed air refueling for airlifters, oversaw the C-141 stretch program, and implemented realistic training for MAC air crews, including participation in Red Flag. In 1983, he took command of 21st Air Force at McGuire. Under his tenure there, MAC supported Urgent Fury, rescuing American students and restoring democracy in Grenada. While the Urgent Fury operation did not go as planned, the mission was successful because the MAC crews were able to adapt, thanks to General Cassidy's realistic training. While at McGuire, General Cassidy earned his jump wings and the distinction of being among the oldest and most senior Air Force officers to earn this rating. Promoted to 3-star in 1984 after his 21st Air Force tour, Cassidy did a touch and go in the Pentagon while adding 2 stars. He spent 1 year in the building as the 3-star Deputy Chief of Staff for Manpower and Personnel, where he touched the lives of every airman, officer, and enlisted, before returning to Scott to pin on his 4th star and the title Sync Mac. General Cassidy's final Scott tour was a series of positive actions that laid the foundation from which mobility air forces operate today. He aggressively defended the C-17, a program he shepherded through the requirements process as the DO, established the crew ratio and manning for as the DP, and now saw into production as the Sync. We see the results of his work every day as the C-17 is the airlifter of choice in today's Air Force and throughout DoD. But his crowning achievement was the stand-up of the United States Transportation Command, making him the first Transcom Commander-in-Chief. He stood up U.S. Transcom July 1, 1987, and turned the new organization into a fully functioning unified command in 1 year. While some worried that U.S. Transcom would upstage the great work that MAC accomplishes daily, General Cassidy's leadership and personal involvement kept MAC focused on airlift, and U.S. Transcom focused on transportation planning. In fact, General Cassidy used his new clout as a unified commander to ensure the C-17 program stayed funded and on track. General Cassidy retired from MAC and U.S. Transcom in September 1989, but retirement for this mobility hero simply meant moving on to other mobility opportunities. He spent 8 years with CSX Corporation, holding several senior positions in multiple mobility modes. The Airlift Tanker Association also benefited from this mobility icon as he served as chairman of the ATA from 2000 to 2003. Under his leadership, the association grew from 4,000 to nearly 6,500, and the participation in the annual convention grew to nearly 3,500 people in 2003. In 2001, joined by retired Major General Jim Baginski, General Cassidy paid tribute to the mobility heroes on the ATA Walk of Fame. His walk down history paid tribute to the mobility greats: Heiser, Tunner, Halverson, Moore, Jackson. Now, that walk includes General Duane H. Cassidy, a true mobility hero and an airlift legend.
Did you ever know that you are my hero? Everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings.